Hi, and welcome to your fourth lecture in Russian for Complete Beginners, in which we will focus on gender of nouns and personal pronouns. There are three genders in Russian: masculine, feminine, and neuter. These genders also change according to the number and have singular and plural forms. The endings of Russian nouns, pronouns, and adjectives also change according to the case. There are 6 cases in Russian, and each case has a specific function in a sentence, and we will study them in due course. The thing to remember for now is that all nouns in Russian dictionaries are given in what we call nominative case, or their pure unchanged form. The good thing about gender distinction in Russian is that all you have to do to tell the genders apart is look at the ending of the noun. So any word that ends in a consonant, or y, is masculine. Let's have a look at some examples here. Theater, 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 and chai, chai, tea. In addition, some words that end in a soft sign can either be masculine or feminine. So these are the only ones that have to be memorized word by word. The example of a masculine word that ends in a soft sign is день, день, which stands for either day or afternoon. Now, majority of feminine words end in a. For example, opera, opera, opera. The rest end in either ya, as in familia, familia, surname, or a soft sign, as in notch, notch, night. Neuter nouns end in either o, as in отчество, отчество, patronymic, or е, as in море, море, sea. These are all the possible endings for Russian nouns in the nominative case. There are some exceptions, such as the word мужчина, which was mentioned in the supplementary material in Lecture 3 and stands for a man, but ends in a r. We will treat this particular word and similar words as grammatically feminine, but masculine in meaning. However, these exceptions are quite rare. We have already come across 3 personal pronouns in the previous lectures, such as я, which stands for I, ты, which stands for the informal you, and вы, the formal you. Now let's have a look at the rest of them. I will read each personal pronoun twice, and I would encourage you to repeat after me. Я, я, ты, он, она, оно, мы, вы, они. Excellent, well done. Now the pronouns on, he, and она, she, can describe either animate or inanimate words in Russian, which means that if we refer to a man or a theater that are both masculine, we would refer to them as on, even though the theater is not a living thing. The pronoun оно, it, however, only describes a word of a neuter gender, rather than in a sentence such as what is it, for which we have a separate word that we will see in just a second. Now let's have a look at some question tags that will allow us to start forming questions and have simple conversations in Russian. Remember that the word order in a question is the same as that of a statement, but the intonation generally goes up at the end. more information about intonation and questions can be found in the supplementary materials attached to Lecture 3. I'm going to repeat each word twice, and I would encourage you to repeat after me. Кто? Кто? Used for both people and animals. Что? Что? Где? Где? Это? Это? Вот? Вот? Formal way to say sorry or excuse me. Извините. Извините. Informal way to say sorry or excuse me. Извини. Извини. Formal way to say pardon. Простите. Простите. Informal way to say pardon. Прости. Прости. Не. Не. Now the word это is translated as it, and it's used to introduce or identify a new word such as what is it? Что это? The answer could be это театр. Это театр. It is a theatre. Once the concept has been introduced, we then refer to the introduced word using the personal pronoun of the appropriate gender. For instance, if we then carry on talking about the theatre, saying that it is new or beautiful, we will refer to the theatre as on. All of this will, however, become clearer once we start using it in the correct context. Let's have a look at some examples of animate words and inanimate words that either answer the question кто or что. Let's start with two masculine examples of animate words. I will repeat each word twice, and I would encourage you to repeat them after me. Доктор. Доктор. Doctor. Футболист. Футболист. Footballer. Inanimate masculine examples. Телефон. Телефон. Telephone. Торт. Торт. Cake. Let's have a look at some animate feminine examples. Девушка. Девушка. Young woman. Стюардесса. Stewardessa. Stewardess. Feminine inanimate examples. Машина. Машина. Car. Гитара. Гитара. Guitar. Let's have a look at some neuter examples. Radio. 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 Море. Море. Sea. Now the great news is that the verb to be in Russian does not have any present tense. So statements such as I am a doctor contain just two words. Я доктор. It is a film becomes это фильм. Now this is a very good and simple way of introducing yourself and providing information about what you do. Supplementary material attached to this lecture contains a list of the most common professions, so you can start practicing talking about yourself and what you do, and all you will need is a personal pronoun I, which is я, followed by your profession. Another great news is that there are no articles in Russian, such as a or the. Now let's see how we can apply this knowledge in a simple conversation. I will read each dialogue till the end first, and then translate it. Извините, кто это? Это Иван. Спасибо. Excuse me, who is it? It's Ivan. Thank you. Простите, что это? Это аптека. Хорошо, спасибо. Pardon me, what is it? It is a pharmacy. Good, thank you. Please feel free to pause and rewind it at any time, as many times as necessary, to practice repeating these dialogues after me. Now here are some more basic dialogues. Please notice the choice of the personal pronoun in the answer, which agrees with the gender of the noun in the question. I will read each dialogue till the end first, and then translate it. Где машина? Вот она. Where is the car? Here it is. Где Марк? Вот он. Where is Mark? Here he is. Где радио? Вот оно. Where is the radio? Here it is. Извините, это опера? Нет, это не опера. Это театр? Да, это театр. Excuse me, is it an opera? No, it is not an opera. Is it a theatre? Yes, it is a theatre. In this lecture, you have learned how to use personal pronouns and how to differentiate between three genders. Overall, including the additional vocabulary in the supplementary materials attached to this lecture, you have familiarized yourselves with 72 new Russian words, majority of which are different types of professions which sound quite similar to English and are provided to you in both masculine and feminine forms. So please feel free to look for the supplied vocabulary and choose the profession that applies to you personally. As usual, remember to download supplementary material which contains useful information on the most common exceptions mentioned at the start of the lecture and the additional vocabulary, as well as the Test Yourself file which contains exercises designed to reinforce the new information covered in this lecture. Thank you for today and speak to you soon.